Now let's get started with Chapter 7, Managing Risk, Vision, and Perception. By the end of chapter number 7, students will be able to describe how effective visual habits help to manage risk when driving. Students will be able to explain and apply the 20 to 30 second visual lead and the 12 to 15 second visual control zone. Students will also be able to describe the benefits of good visual habits, including ground viewing, mirror and blind area checks, and searching ahead, behind, and to the sides. Then we have some attitude objectives. By the end of chapter number 7, students will accept that an aggressive visual search is necessary to identify potentially threatening objects or conditions. So let's get started with the importance of vision. First off, it's critical to safe driving. Effective use of vision is critical to your safe driving. No human sense is more important to the driving task. It is useful for drivers to know about the different types of vision, the type of information that can be obtained from each, and how to develop effective visual habits. Visibility. When you drive, you must have a clear field of vision to gather information and guide a motor vehicle effectively. Good visibility depends on the distance you can see ahead and to the sides. It consists of your line of sight and your field of view. Line of sight is the imaginary line that extends from your eyes to the point of focus. Field of view is the entire area of the highway and surroundings that you can see at any given time. So now let's talk about the types of vision. And we're going to start off with central vision. Central vision is that 5-degree cone that makes up only 3% of a driver's total visual field. It provides detail of objects and conditions and is the primary visual function employed in targeting. Then we have fringe vision. Fringe vision is used to judge depth and position. It provides information about objects close to the travel path and lane position. Then we have peripheral vision. Peripheral vision is conical in shape around the other vision fields. It detects color and motion, providing you with information about moving or stationary objects that could be threats along the intended path of travel. It also gives you a sense of the speed at which you are traveling. Peripheral vision is strongly affected by drugs, fatigue, and speed of travel. Now let's talk about color blindness. Some drivers have difficulty distinguishing among colors, a condition called color blindness. The most common form of color blindness is the inability to distinguish between red and green. Colorblind drivers can use cues other than color to help them drive safely, including the sign's shapes, sequence of lights within a signal light, other drivers' actions, and numbering system. Now we have effective visual habits, and we'll begin with searching. Searching means moving your eyes in a constant pattern from near to far and side to side. While your intended travel path is your main area of focus, searching the roadside gives you additional traffic clues. Keeping your eyes active helps you resist distractions, reduces inattention, and prevents a fixed stare. You should be looking for vehicles and people that may be in the road by the time you reach them, warning signs detailing conditions ahead, and traffic signs or signals requiring your action. Then we have visual search patterns. As a driver, you may be forced to respond quickly to traffic events. To control risk in these situations, it is essential that you develop efficient visual search patterns. You will gather information about what is happening ahead along your intended path of travel, as well as to the sides and behind your vehicle. Your goal is to identify anything that might require you to adjust your speed, change your vehicle position, or communicate with other road users. Searching the total traffic scene. Searching well ahead. You need to maintain a visual lead. The distance you look ahead is identified as your visual lead. Searching well ahead gives you more time to make decisions about space needs, vehicle positioning, and better control if a situation should arise. By searching 20 to 30 seconds ahead of you, drivers can readily determine an appropriate speed and position for existing road and traffic conditions and identify an alternate path 12 to 15 seconds ahead of them into which they can steer if their planned path of travel is threatened or blocked. Then we have searching 20 to 30 seconds ahead. Because your visual lead automatically accommodates different speeds, How far you should look ahead is measured in seconds rather than distance. Under normal circumstances, environmental conditions permitting, you should search the highway 20 to 30 seconds ahead of your vehicle. This gives you time to analyze conditions and make speed or position adjustments before problems develop. Then you should maintain a 12 to 15 second visual control zone. Searching 20 to 30 seconds ahead gives you time to assess, within the next 12 to 15 seconds, actions you may need to take to control your risk. This is your visual control zone, defined as a place or places to which you can steer on or off the road 12 to 15 seconds ahead if a potential problem situation develops. Identifying alternate paths becomes critical if you are in a situation when stopping within your vehicle's stopping zone would result in being struck from behind. Searching to the sides. Concentrating on any one object or situation interferes with your ability to detect other potentially dangerous conditions. As you increase speed and concentrate farther ahead along your travel path, you may experience reduced side vision. You must make a conscious effort to maintain wide-ranging eye movements. Then we have ground viewing. While your default visual search area should be well in front of the vehicle, searching the visual scene near the ground can help you detect important information to support safe driving. Searching the ground can help you judge a vehicle's speed and any changes in speed, determine whether other drivers are maintaining lane position or are about to change direction, locate markings or unusual road conditions. For instance, a shadow on the pavement can be a clue to a slick spot or a car in front of a truck that you want to pass. Also, it helps you locate small children or animals behind or between parked cars. This is especially helpful in residential areas. Then we have looking behind. Developing skills to check traffic behind you will help avoid collisions when conditions change suddenly. Check your rear view and side mirrors to see if anyone is following too closely, coming up fast, or preparing to pass. Glance over your left or right shoulder to check your blind areas. The frequency of rear view checks depends on traffic conditions, so be sure to check the traffic behind you before you change lanes, drive down a long or steep hill, before you back up, if you brake abruptly, or if you approach an intersection. Moving on to clearance for braking. To judge clearance for braking, you need to know what type of vehicle is following you. A large truck or bus may require twice as much stopping distance as your vehicle. Mirror checks also are necessary to judge the type of signals needed and whether others have received them. Blind area checks. Develop the habit of turning your head slightly in the direction you plan to move to check for vehicles you may not see in your mirrors. Many collisions and near misses occur when drivers fail to determine if the space into which they want to move is clear. Then we have a better rule for using your mirrors. Check your rear view and side mirrors if a situation ahead of you calls for a possible speed or position adjustment. This helps you judge the position and relative speed of following vehicles. It also helps you find vehicles in your blind areas and the limits on the possible escape routes. Then we have selective searching. Selecting the right information. Safe driving decisions begin with selecting the right information. Sometimes there is simply too much information which leads to distraction and confusion. There are 2 steps to developing a selective search pattern. Number 1, know where to direct your search. And number 2, classify information into major groups. Then we have directing your search, searching for important factors. The important items to search for are objects, situations, and highway conditions that may affect your path of travel. So look for vehicles, pedestrians, or other highway users that could move into your path, then identify conditions that may influence your traction. Then quickly direct your attention away from objects or conditions that do not affect your path of travel. Gathering information. The more information you gather about other vehicles and highway users, the better you can predict whether they are likely to approach or move across your intended path. A parked car with its front wheels turned toward the street and brake lights on provides a hint that the vehicle may pull in front of you. You also want to avoid surprises. Surprise is a factor in many collisions. A recent study of more than 11,000 crashes revealed that 37% of the drivers involved in the crash took no action to avoid a collision. The surprise factor was greater among those who were struck. Changes in line of sight. Your line of sight changes continuously as you move along the highway. You must be aware of the potential for a limited line of sight well ahead of your vehicle. A limited line of sight is any highway area ahead of you where the sight distance or field of view is less than that required for safe travel at your current speed. In some places, signs are posted warning of a limited sight distance. Off-road obstacles. Off-road conditions can reduce your line of sight on either side of your intended path of travel. Shrubbery, signs, buildings, and parked vehicles may hide intersections, driveways, and moving objects. Such obstacles not only reduce your ability to see, but prevent other drivers from being able to see you. These situations are especially risky, for hidden dangers can appear suddenly in your stopping zone. Traffic conditions that affect your line of sight. So traffic conditions can reduce your line of sight and your visual lead time. A fixed or slow-moving object may come into view too late. A van or large truck can reduce your view of the path ahead, particularly if it is stopped at an intersection waiting to make a left turn. Large vehicles or dips in the highway can easily hide compact cars and motorcycles from view. Clues to the direction and rate of movement of an object may be obscured, leaving drivers unaware of a high-risk situation. Adjusting to changes in visibility. To help identify problem areas, think about your driving environment. Assess factors such as the time of the day and the season. From late August to mid-June, expect to see school buses in the early morning and afternoon hours. Then we have daylight hours. On sunny days, backgrounds such as snow or sand can cause glare, which sharply decreases your ability to see. Driving toward the sun can be a particular problem because your eyes adapt slowly to changes in light intensity. When you face a blinding sun, wear sunglasses and adjust the sun visor. Sunglasses. Be sure to keep sunglasses clean and free of scratches. Polarized sunglasses with neutral gray or green tints are best for reducing glare. Avoid sunglasses with thick temples that create blind areas to the sides. Wearing sunglasses during the day can help protect your vision, but never wear sunglasses at dusk or in the dark since they will further reduce your ability to see. Driving at night. Visibility problems associated with nighttime driving are probably the least understood. In addition to reducing detail, darkness conceals many objects that you can see during the daylight. No matter how good they may be, headlights do not show as much of the road as daylight does. You might detect hundreds of details at a certain location during daylight. At night, you might see very little at the same place. Watch for slow-moving or unlighted vehicles, curves, pedestrians, and road changes. Driving at dusk. Be especially alert at dusk. The sky still may be bright, but objects on the road can merge with shadows and fade into the darkness. Then we have bad weather. If the weather becomes too bad, pull off the road to a rest area or parking lot and wait for conditions to improve. If pulling off the road is not possible, pull onto the shoulder as far away from traffic as possible. Headlights. Driving with your low beam headlights on during daylight hours makes you much more visible to other highway users. That is why many of today's automobiles come equipped with automatic daytime running lights. During the daylight, on a straight and level road, a vehicle without headlights is visible from about a half a mile away. With your headlights on, that same vehicle is visible from nearly a mile away. This difference can be critical when you are considering whether to pass another vehicle in terms of identifying any oncoming traffic. Then we have a lights on law. A mandatory daylight lights on law enacted more than 25 years ago in Sweden continues to prove highly effective in reducing frontal crashes between vehicles. The law has even more dramatically reduced fatalities involving pedestrians and bicyclists, and Canada is also experiencing similar results today. But you also want to keep your headlights clean. Dirty headlights and windshields limit your visibility. Road grime, dirt, oil, water, and other debris can reduce your light output by up to 90%. A 30 to 50% visibility loss due to dirt or grime is common. To help control this problem, wipe your headlights when you plan to drive at night and keep both the inside and outside of your windshield clean. Then we have classifying information. As you drive, it is important to accurately classify the information you obtain. Regardless of where you drive, Classifying information into major groups will help you avoid overlooking a significant event or clue. Traffic elements can be classified into 4 major groups. The first, signs, signals, and markings. These provide information about the road environment. The second, roadway features. Roadways have many features that can influence driving decisions, such as lane markings, road width, road surface, and available traction, shoulder slope, intersections, interchanges, and the general state of repair. Third, we have motorized vehicles. Automobiles, SUVs, vans, pickup trucks, motorcycles, mopeds, recreation vehicles, large trucks, and buses have different capabilities, sizes, and limitations. Then we have number 4, non-motorized roadway users. Pedestrians, bicyclists, and animals are the least protected and in many ways the least predictable roadway users in terms of giving cues to risky behaviors. And because of their vision and hearing are not fully developed, young children have difficulty judging the speed of oncoming vehicles. They can't judge the time and space needed to cross a street. Rarely are they aware of what a driver can or cannot do with a motor vehicle. They may take chances that can cause serious problems for drivers. To reduce danger, watch for clues to predict the actions by pedestrians, bicyclists, and animals. Now we finish with drivers with poor visual habits. The following list is a list of drivers with poor visual habits. First, they do not prepare for stops or turns far enough in advance. They don't notice traffic tie-ups in advance. They become trapped behind large trucks or slow-moving or double-parked vehicles. They are often caught by surprise. They are unaware of vehicles that are about to pass them. They are unaware of their own speed. They drive with their turn signals flashing, although they do not intend to turn. They drive with their mirrors that are dirty or out of adjustment. They drive with fogged, dirty, or partially blocked windows. They become distracted easily, and they do not respond to changes in the traffic environment. And just like that, we are done with chapter number 7, and we will move on to our videos from AAA.